This is like Bush's beans. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't want it to be filmed.
Yeah, I don't want it to be filmed. There it goes. 2 cups.
My lips are sealed.
2 cups of flour.
Like you even have your own cup.
I know, she's awesome.
2 cups of flour.
We don't have the special little leveling thing that she
And
does.
I don't. Sometimes I sift. If I'm doing it for 4-H, I sift. Okay, 2 cups of flour.
Okay, Miss Gloria. Is it
Gloria?
self-rising or
Yeah, it's
all-purpose?
It's all purpose.
Do you know the difference?
I know, I read the label and bought all purpose.
Self-rising has other, like baking powder.
Yeah. Baking soda and baking powder.
Mm-hmm.
So you do bleached or unbleached, or doesn't matter?
Doesn't make any difference.
2 cups flour.
You think about in the old days, you know, they used the lard off the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now my rolling pin cover isn't as thick as this one. Will that matter?
Probably one thing you're going to want to do, get it full. There you go. Okay. You're going to need a teaspoon of salt. Okay.
This is what cracks me up. You put salt in something sweet, but it's like takes away some of the sweet or makes it sweeter or something. I don't know. I forget what the reason is.
Now something else that you girls might want to do, since you've got new,
Put a little flour on it.
put some flour in this. Put some flour because your pastry cloths don't need flour. So we may have to add a little flour on this as you roll this out. Okay, so we got our flour. Now what you're making is a double crust pie. Okay, this is gonna have a top and bottom. Like so, it's gonna be like a blueberry or black raspberry, and we may use. Well, I'm making a rhubarb. We may go ahead and make a triple berry pie. What did you want to take a full pie home?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we can.
So we might make your triple berry pie, and she wants the black raspberry. Okay.
Whatever.
I'm gonna set this over. I'll set this over here. Then as we get and see, because you're gonna need flour in here. Okay.
More than that?
That's fine. Okay. If you want to take your pastry cutter and kind of blend that, that's fine. Okay.
You can borrow mine.
Now you need to add a cup of Crisco. Okay. Go ahead and just dig into mine here in a minute. Okay. We may have to dig into Donna's. I don't know if I've got 3 cups, but I don't have to stock up. It's getting time for holiday. Okay, so now I want to add a cup of Crisco. Okay.
So we did 1, 2, 1, and 1, didn't we?
That's why I said it's so easy to remember. If you're only going to make a single crust, like for a pumpkin pie, a pecan pie for Thanksgiving, then it's just half. Then it'd only be 1 cup of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, and half a cup of Crisco. Okay. And same way, if you're going to make, if you need to make a baked pie crust for a cream pie filling, same thing. It's just, that's going to have to be put in the pie shell.
That's the half one, because you're just making one.
Which will make a single pie crust to do the peach. Okay. Oh yeah, we got one in on it.
If he's going to videotape, we can't talk about Gloria and Mom.
I thought, oh, Lori.
Or our husbands or our kids. Or
We didn't go to church.
I told Wellness that I came to the Church of Gloria to make pie today.
Now, is she just home for a visit?
They're here for 2 weeks, yes.
Okay.
The church gave them
Okay, we don't need the salt right now. We'll get back to that. Okay, now.
Alright, that was pretty good.
This is when the pastry cutter comes in handy. And I only have one, so I'll share it with you in a minute. But I can also, you can use, in the old days, they used to actually use 2 forks. I've never done that. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to blend this together. And they say so it looks like peas, but I never did get a crumble look. Yeah. And sometimes you're going to have to use your finger and just get that off of there like this. Now, I'm not an expert. Everybody has their own way of doing this. Okay? I need to get some more of these for the girls. Go ahead.
Now, can you work it too
Go
much?
like this.
No.
I do it wrist circular. Keeps it from.
Basically, what you want to do is you want to get that Crisco down to it's
Cut
just
down
little
into
like
it.
pebbles.
Yeah.
So you may need to stop, Donna, and
Not
clean your
get too
Crisco
mushed up.
off. Just use your fingers. This way, make sure you wash your hands. Oh, the number one rule I forgot to do. I always tell the girls, first thing you always do is get dishwater going.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a lady from church, and I always think of Jean McMahon. She always said, you always get dishwater. That way you clean up as you go, and you don't have, and this not take, see how that looks?
We're kind of used to that too.
Yeah.
This is how you do it too.
Because the
I'm not as
Crisco is going to melt when you
Yeah.
bake it, okay? It doesn't have to be real fine, but you want to get a lot of the big lumps of Crisco out, okay? You see that, Travis? Travis makes a good cream pie.
Sean makes good pie. He makes his own crust.
Does he?
Yeah, Sean's. Yeah.
Okay.
Both my boys are pretty good cooks, but Sean does mostly the sweet stuff.
Okay.
Okay, how does that look? Is that good enough?
Enough, yeah. Did you put 2 cups of flour in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And you know I have found, too, it looks fine. Humidity display. Yeah. I clean off your thing.
Yeah, this
Excuse
looks
me.
a lot thicker than mine, or more flour than mine.
And we'll figure it out. Yeah, yours looks a little wetter than ours. I don't know why. Okay.
Did I mix it too much?
No. At first I thought, well, maybe she didn't put as much flour in, but it looks, you did.
Yeah, I put too much.
Okay.
I know
Looks
it's
good
more,
enough.
more flour, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I heard it.
You have a lot of
I
flour.
have more flour than
Okay, and then I add, now a lot of recipes, I was just telling Barbara, you read Martha Stewart, she uses cold butter. A lot of people use cold butter. They do it in the blender and all this stuff. I don't. I use 1/4 of a cup of ice cold water. If I don't have it out of, I threw this in the freezer just a minute ago. Otherwise, I just put some water out of the refrigerator, 1/4 of a cup of water, and just kind of blend it in. Now, one thing my mother always told, till you can kind of form a ball, okay? I'll get your fork. My mom always said, don't play with pie dough.
Yeah.
You just want to be able to form a ball, okay? So what I'll do is I just kind of take my hands and kind of mix it together so I can form a big ball.
Mine does feel pretty wet.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. Okay. Okay, you can get it together. Fine. If we think it's too wet as we roll it,
Yeah.
we'll put
It's
flour.
pretty sticky too.
And then if you can divide it in half,
Mine's really floury.
and you know
You
what,
feel it.
sometimes humidity plays a big difference. Kind of squish it together. We'll just add a little more water.
I need more flour, you need more water.
The pie crust, when I put them in the pie, it rips. I'm like, oh, well, okay.
That's not too dry. It's okay.
I think just a little, not much. You don't want too much. Okay. Just enough you can. I think we can get a ball out of that. You want to kind of just like divide it in half.
Okay.
Okay. What you're gonna do now is just take half a ball. We're gonna get ready. Now let me put this back here. You want to make sure that you've got flour on your thing. Okay. I want to make sure. I made cookies the other day. Sugar cookies. So I'm gonna have about half of this. Like I said, since yours is new, you haven't really worked pie dough, that's good enough.
Seasoned yet?
Yep. Okay. Now, I'll set this out of the way so you can see it. Basically, all I do is just kind of roll it like that. Maybe turn it and just out and just start rolling it from the center out and make a circle. And actually, it's not going to make the circle, but you want to make it so that if I turn the pie pan upside down, it should be about halfway down. So just kind of push it down, push out, push down, roll out, push down, roll out.
All over everywhere.
Just kind of work it around until you can get a nice round circle. And it's kind of, even thickness. Now another secret I learned, and I've been, after all these years with the cookies, you know how it says on cookies you need them a 1/2 inch thick or 1/4 inch thick? I took dowel rods, 1/4 inch dowel rods, broke them in half, I lay them on the side of the cookie dough, and when I roll it, I roll on top of the dowel rods.
Okay.
And then I have 1/4 inch thick.
Yeah.
Okay? So,
Well, mine definitely isn't round.
well, it's fine. Look, now don't roll it too much more. You're fine. You don't want to go any more. Okay?
Is it too thin?
See, Donna, you got yours, and I've got mine.
Well.
Okay? Because you don't want it too thin. Okay?
I don't know how thin mine is. I can't tell. It looks pretty thin.
Yeah. Well, you can see you got thickness out here
Yeah.
and thinner over there. So, okay, now what you're going to do is, if you can, get your fingers under a couple edges, okay, and fold it in half. Now you can see here I ran into a problem. I had mine's a little dry. But your girl's was fine. Now, you got your pie pans. You need a pie pan. Bring in one of those pie pans that's in those clear things.
Okay.
She needs one of those. Okay.
There's two. You want me to use both of them that's in there?
I got one. We may need one later.
Okay, I'll open these. We have this size with lids. Is it okay to use this one that's in that height?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Your lids won't. Your clear lids though won't fit on those.
I just open this up.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this now, and I'm going to set this right in the middle.
You don't flour the pan yet. Underneath,
Huh?
you don't have to put any flour in there. Did you bring two?
I gave you. That's why I gave
you told me this.
I gave her the one. I took the other one back.
It's okay. Now you're
She told me to give you the
about
one out of the
halfway in the
thing.
middle. Put it about halfway in
Is
the
this
middle.
okay that side?
That's fine.
Okay. Put it halfway in the middle.
Put the round folded in the middle.
Okay.
Okay, now get your fingers underneath, and you're going to flip the other part over like this. Okay. And now I'm just going to gently make sure, kind of lifting my fingers under here. And don't worry, because see here, I don't have any pie dough. Don't worry, I'm going to make it fit in a minute, okay?
That's thin right there.
Okay. I just kind of make sure that it's kind of fitting in. Now, and see, Barbara, how you've got some here?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay? We're going to make it fit. That's
And when it's
See, this
bends,
side's thicker.
yeah, that's okay.
Are you
But
trying to
remember,
push
we're
the
gonna-
bubbles out? Is that what you're trying to do?
Well, yeah, I'm just kind of
Make a
making sure
seal?
it's that you're filling the pie pan. You know,
Yeah.
you don't really need to push.
Okay.
You know, press. Okay. Now this is just trial and error, and everybody has their own because a lot of people don't like a thick crust. I have found that if I go and stick one finger, maybe like my index finger, under the edge, I go around and I pinch off
That's extra.
all the extra. Okay. So I have about a finger's width of dough hanging over. Now, if I don't have that finger's worth of dough left, then some of the dough that I pinched off, I pinch it on and make it work, see? So you just kind of, now you start playing, it's like playing with Play-Doh.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have,
Creating.
so I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to pinch that on.
I think I'm tearing too much off.
And when you you know, because, like I said, a lot of people, I had a friend, I laughed because I'm like, I don't know that it's this special. She says, just make me a pie crust and put some sugar on it so I can eat it. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, so you should have, pretty much a finger's width of dough hanging over the side, okay?
I don't have hardly anything hanging over this side, except on this side over here. Because I didn't have that. One side was really low. See that?
You can grab some of her dough.
And if you need some more edges, go ahead and grab one of my edge. See, yeah, she got it. And remember, we're gonna put an edge on here in a minute. So Barbie, you might want to get a little more here, so you have nothing there. And if you think that's too thick, then roll it thinner and add it. This actually kind of works right here. There. You just kind of pinch it on.
I really didn't have that much overhang. I probably should have just left it on there.
Yeah. And you can move it too. Pie dough will move with you. Like I said, it's like playing with Play-Doh now.
Okay.
It will move. But the thing is, you don't want to play with it too much, okay?
So you think that's good on all the way around?
I think that's good enough.
Pinch it up just a little bit.
I never make. You know, I'm not taking this to the 4-H fair to be judged. We make.
Good thing.
Okay, now, I'm going to... Because before I put my filling in, we're gonna do now, if you want to, Donna. See, yours here. Set your pie crust here, and you're gonna take your other dough now, and we're gonna go ahead and roll it out first. Okay. Okay. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put a little more flour down in the middle of mine because I just saw mine was dry. Okay.
Oh,
Now. And sometimes the dough that I had left over, I just add it in, okay? Now this time I roll it a little different. I try to roll it in a rectangle because we're gonna make strips. And you want the strips long enough to go across the pie.
Okay.
Okay? So think about doing it as a rectangle if you can. Now, you ain't gonna be a perfect rectangle, but if you can do it as a rectangle, that's great. And we gotta get enough to get 10 strips about the width of your thumb. That's the only way I can tell you to do it. And again, we can pinch them together. Now, some people, if you do an apple pie, they usually show a whole circle that's laid on top with slits in it. Well, I'm not good at doing that because, you know, fresh apples tear my crust apart, so I do a strip. Some people like to do just decorations, like cutting. You know, you could cut a bunch of pumpkins out,
yeah, or leaves or whatever.
Leaves, and put those on. You could get real decorative.
Oh,
dude. And if you really. And you know, it's kind of like when I've been sewing here. Nobody's going to see your mistakes unless you tell them. Nobody's going to say, oh, this is just a little bit thicker here than there. Okay? Now.
I'd say mine's not too rectangular as it is that way, but I think that's still you're right, didn't you?
You know what? And here's what I do sometimes. Let's take this.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how it got so thin right there. I think maybe what if you kind of like patted it into a.
Well, you could do that.
You know what I mean? When you're putting it down,
you could do that.
Kind of shape it into a loaf instead.
Now, Donna found one of these. This is a pastry wheel. The only thing I find I have problems with this one. This is hard to clean. Now, what I do
use that one, Donna.
Is I want to make a long strip. So I make my first long strip. One strip's going to be, and then I just start cutting, and I make 10 strips like this. And see, I can see that's a little heavier. And sometimes they tear on me. Anyway, I make about 10 strips. Okay.
You may have to go this
I might
way.
have to go this way.
Then
Is this
it's gonna be
wide,
long.
long enough?
Well, now your longest strips are going to go in the middle. And then as you come out, they get shorter. So you're going to be okay if you have some shorter strips, okay?
Okay.
So I would maybe cut this edge off that's all jagged or make it kind of square. There you go. No, go ahead. Oh, I can wait. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to cut mine.
Oh, no, I didn't have one that was good.
I'm going to go this
Now,
way.
if people tend to like, this is a lattice top. People like lattice top. I don't know why. It's just what my mother always told me.
I think you can see what's inside.
Yeah.
And that I like the way it kind of bubbles up. And I think it's a prettier pie, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it makes a prettier pie. Mom always said I had to learn how to make a pie and make noodles. And Grandma taught me how to cut a chicken up and get about 5 meals out of it. I cut a whole chicken up and get about 4 to 5 meals out of it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The bony pieces go in the broth. I can get the chicken breast. I can get the legs and thighs and the chicken tenders and stuff like that. Okay, so I got that. Okay, now I'm ready to make my filling.
I don't know if I can make two.
Now, Barbara wants a red. Oh, you're not ready yet.
I know,
so
I had to wait for my
get your
tea.
strips cut.
So, if you were me and you were this was your pie topping, would you do this way or would you do this way?
I'd go this way.
That's what I was going to do too.
Because you get more strips.
Yeah.
You gotta have 10.
Yeah. First, I'm going to make it. I'm gonna start down here and make it square.
I'm gonna set your pie crust up here out of your way. Okay.
Shucks, I'll knock that sucker off. That's pretty good. Only thing is, I cannot cut straight, so you wouldn't put me in charge
Here's
of.
what I do. I take my thumb here and visually cut this away.
Okay, that'll work.
Or go the other way, whichever way. And you probably could have rolled yours a little bit thinner, but that's okay.
I was afraid I
Fine.
wouldn't have enough strips. why I
That's
did
fine.
that. I'm going to have part of 10.
Probably my sewing helps me visually. And sometimes I'll get skinny strip. Look at this
Yeah,
one.
cut a
See
little
how
bit
fat
more.
this got? Look how skinny this got. So
You definitely wouldn't want me to cut your hair or anything. Or put him on your dress or anything. Oh, that's a fat guy. Oh, I'm going to have more than 10.
What's in there?
this is rhubarb and pineapple. These are black raspberries.
Well, how about we make... Ooh, that's a skinny one. Partially.
Now, like I said, she doesn't want to bake her pie. Do you want to bake your pie? Because I'm going to turn the oven on because I'm going to make a pie. I'm going to bake mine, and I bake them at 425.
Ta-da!
Yeah, I'll bake it today. If you
Okay.
Check that out. We did pie crust. It may not be edible.
You made it. You won't eat
You made
it.
it. Okay, you got. Okay, you made pie crust. Okay,
So you can just put the frozen in there?
those are frozen.
You don't
Now,
have to thaw them, or you do?
as I was telling Barbara when we came here, most recipes call for like 4 cups of a berry, and sugar depends on the sweetness of it, you know. But I usually use a cup of sugar and about a half cup of flour for thickening. But I've gotten away from the flour because sometimes it tends to look cloudy. And something I ran across, because I got to reading on it, is called instant clear gel. Okay? I use clear gel when I make my own canned pie filling. But instant clear gel will instantly make this pie thick.
Okay.
Okay? So, now...
Is that what you said you get at Shipshawana?
I get this at Shipshawana. You can buy it on the internet too, on Amazon. But this is instant clear gel. And a lot of those times they use clear gel when you're making jams or jelly. Most recipes say to mix your sugar and your clear gel together. 1/3 of a cup of clear gel with a cup of sugar and sprinkle it over it. I like to mix them in together. I'm going to get you here. Now, I know that had pie crust in it, but I'm running out of bowls. I can't think of any other ones I could use.
I can wipe it out if you want.
Oh, I know where I got another, because we want to make more pie crust. But we'll also make a pie. Either we'll bake it, we'll use a pie. We'll make another. I want you to make another single crust, and we can do it as a pie and as an unbaked pie crust. Okay. So I'll slip that in there. That's my little popcorn bowl. My microwave bowl.
When you do an unbaked that you freeze, can you put the top on that?
Well, what I do is, I need 4 cups. What I do is, if I want, what I meant to do was, I will do a, where's my measuring cup? Oh, this one. We'll bake a pie, we'll make we'll do a baked pie crust, so if you wanted to make a cream pie filling in. But sometimes when I make a pie crust, I'll have enough, I don't know why, but sometimes I'll have enough dough left that I will make a little bitty pie crust. And then the kids love to come and I fill it with chocolate pudding and put whipped cream in it. And it's kind of an individual fruit pie.
Yeah. I think Carrie used to put sugar and make the little sugar pie.
Well, we're going to do that. We're going to make the little cinnamon thing.
Yeah.
The size of this blackberry.
Yeah. Those are nice.
Is that a 2-cup container you have
Yeah,
there?
that's a 2-cup container. This is one of our favorites. Actually, I was telling Barbara that actually this is what she makes her frozen jam with, and one that's still fair. A pickleberry.
Target.
So, okay. So,
Another place to buy that kind of stuff is the
Oh yeah.
Big great to make smoothies with
Those
too.
look really good.
oh, where's my beer cup? All my ingredients is in here. When you get a small kitchen, and believe it or not, I enlarged this kitchen. The windows used to be right here. Okay. So what we're going to do is, so we have 4 cups of beer, a cup of sugar, and I have a third of a cup of this.
Okay. And your sugar.
Yeah, mix that around. That makes
That's
sense.
a lot.
It's like mixing your flour and your salt. You got one big blob of gel in one corner.
So we'll pour that on Barbara's.
And then you mix that up.
Yeah, if you want to take a spatula and kind of mix that up.
Ooey, gooey, yummy.
I've never made 3 pies at one time.
You are doing awesome. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Oops, I dropped one.
You know what? Grab the wrong one. Read. I told the girls, read. I try to tell the girls, and sometimes I don't. When I'm a new recipe, I said, read the directions, and at my age, I have started to check off as I put them in.
Yeah.
Because I leave out stuff. And when you sew a lot, they always tell you to measure twice before you cut. And I found out the other day you need to read twice before you cut. As I work on what they call a mystery quilt, I had no idea what it was going to look like when it was done, and I got to the borders. They were supposed to be mitered, and I had cut off, and
So that one is a rhubarb
pineapple. In the summer, I use fresh strawberries.
Yeah.
But I originally used to do this, and I'll always have a funny story on the rhubarb. One of the scout leaders that Travis was with hated rhubarb because he said his mother made everything out of rhubarb. Rhubarb pie, rhubarb jam, rhubarb ketchup. He was sitting here one day watching me make this, and he finally had to have a piece. He said it was the best thing he'd ever had. He said, I can't put it down. But here's another little thing that they don't tell you in books to do.
So if you didn't have that clear jelly, you would just have to use flour.
You'd use flour or cornstarch. Most recipes call for flour. Sometimes recipes call for tapioca.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that, I would use flour.
You
And
would
I would
use
use a
flour?
half a cup of flour. Okay.
So more than one.
I add a little bright food coloring
That's a great idea. Jazz it up, make it bright.
to rank it up a little brighter.
Just in the rhubarb one.
Yeah, the rhubarb one. I think that's about the only one. Sometimes if I use frozen cherries,
You want to red those because they're a little brownish, maybe.
see, Will always, on his raspberries, he would get concerned that they were dry, okay? So if you think it looks a little dry, you could
Because
add,
mine's all sugar. 'Cause
You
these
could
are
add
frozen.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Could be because they were kind of frozen.
See, it's.
well, that's what I started telling you.
Yeah,
If you
so-
think they're a little dry, add a fourth of a cup of water to it,
Okay.
okay?
See, mine's coated pretty good, but I had a bunch of it on the bottom, and so I kept just flipping it, and it kind of coated it better. See, there's still look on the bottom.
Yeah, that's true.
Even after.
You might
look.
still want to go ahead though and add a little water, maybe a fourth of a cup, just to make sure that that's all blended.
You talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you think?
I think I'd add a little bit. And you know what? You can always start small, add a couple tablespoons. If you think that's fine. If not, then I wouldn't add more than a fourth of a cup. Some recipes say a fourth a cup to a half a cup.
What's that look like?
Okay.
A little bit goes a long way.
Yeah.
Mine actually looks pretty good.
Okay. Now all you need to do is once you think you like the way it looks,
See, mine's starting to get a little mushy.
okay, well, you're gonna put yours right in your pie crust now.
Okay.
And do you always use them frozen or you can thaw? Because
Oh, you can thaw them completely.
if they're wetter, wouldn't they take up more? of
Well,
the
yeah, they're a
flavor?
little wetter. And remember, when berries are frozen, they tend to kind of shrink. I was telling Barbara, I used to freeze black raspberries 4 cups to a bag.
Mm-hmm.
And
your
then I
pie?
started adding maybe 5 cups, because if I wanted a fuller pie, I might put 5 or 6 cups. Now, the pie that I made this summer for the party, I actually used black raspberries. These are raspberries that I canned.
Mm-hmm.
And see, they are already juicy.
Yeah.
So sometimes you gotta work kind of fast. Okay. So now, just kind of spread them around the pie. This is when I said I needed to introduce you.
I can be washing some dishes. I think that looks pretty good.
I'm very granular.
Okay, now one small. Now before we add,
Just drizzle it, maybe a little.
and it's not gonna hurt it, Donna,
Okay.
I wouldn't add more than a half cup.
Okay.
Let's not have mine look already.
Go ahead and put those in there. I want you to do that. Okay, now,
No, that's better.
okay. Once your berries are in your pie crust, I want you to add some slivers of butter to the top. Don't ask me why, I was just the way I was told.
I think it makes it look glossy.
Yeah. What did I do with the sugar? Oh, here.
It's okay to put it all in here, you think?
Oh yeah, definitely. Put it all in there. You want a nice full pie because it is going to cook down. When you make an apple pie, they tell you 6 cups with a lot of apples. Go ahead, Barbara. Let's come on and get your pie together.
Okay.
And then we'll get busy and wash them because we're going to make some. Some of those bowls I just need to make more pie crust. Okay. There you go, Donna.
So how many tablespoons?
Oh,
How
about
many?
4 slices.
Just scooch it out around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That feel good?
Mm-hmm. That looks good.
It's a
Okay.
big slice.
Oh yeah, it looks good.
You can't have that. That's too thick.
We're making pie. Oh.
We have candy.
I cut one of mine in half because it was kind of thick.
Yeah. After Christmas, I always have to clean this house because I tell you, once we start holiday baking and then I start experimenting. Our new recipe this year we're going to do is cashew brittle.
Here, let's use
Ooh, that sounds yummy.
We're going to, because Ashley's going to do peanut brittle for 4-H in the microwave. She does microwaving for 4-H.
Wow.
Okay, what you need to do is try to find your longest piece, and it's going to go right down the middle of your pie.
Making that be my biggest one.
Find the longest, okay? And then find the next longest and lay it on the other side of the one you just laid down, okay?
Leave a little space.
Yeah, just a little bit of space. And then if you have a short one, lay it on the very end, okay? And then you turn the pie around and you do this. You put one here, 2 more. So you have five pieces of lattice started, okay? So you just need to make sure you pick a piece that you know that's going to go across your pie, okay? And if it tears, we'll just pinch it together, okay? So you should have 5 pieces of lattice going across your pie, okay?
I have 4.
Did you too close?
Get you one going here.
They're too close?
Get you. No, they're fine. We'll just need one there.
Right there.
Okay. Now, you need to find another long piece, because this time, this is when 3rd grade weaving class comes in handy, okay? Remember back in 3rd grade, you always wondered, why do I have to learn to weave?
over
So
and
you
over
can
and-
make pie. So I'm gonna lay it down over the first one, and I'm gonna pick this one up, and I'm gonna put it under. I'm gonna go over the 3rd one, pick the 4th one up, and go under, and you have just woven your first piece of lattice. Okay, now it should overhang on your pie. Okay.
It's about my longest one.
Yeah, so now this one's over. You want to pick this up and take it under. Over and under. Over and
That's the
under.
delicate part.
Yeah, and sometimes they tear. And
That's
now
why you probably want your crust to be just a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
Or your topping.
Yeah, and that's why these could be just a tad thinner if you needed to, but it may be fine. Now you just finished out the pie, so you need to go 2 one way and 2 the other way, and just now you want to do the opposite. If you went over, this time I want to make sure on the first piece I go under, because remember we're weaving. So now I want to go under, over, under, over. And just finish out the pie.
Dude, you're not supposed to do that.
And if it does, you just kind of pinch
Push
it
it
together.
together. Which one have the thickest end?
Sometimes the problem I have is it tears when I'm pulling it off of the dough, off of the board. I need to wash my cloths. I get busy and make a lot of noodles to give away at Christmas.
That's my next project, is learning to make noodles.
You want to learn to make noodles? I'll show you how to make noodles.
Okay.
Anytime.
That would be wonderful. So how many went 5 across the top 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You should have a basket weave on top of your pie when you're done. That looks like that.
It's looking like a pie.
Now, you're fine right now. You're pretty well taken up. You could have, should have really
A
almost
little
put
closer.
this. So
Yeah.
let's move these a little bit.
So I'm actually putting more on top than, oh yeah.
I had 10. So
See, I was thinking I only needed,
you need 5 on the top, bottom and 5 on the top.
I have 5 on the bottom?
Yeah.
One,
You had
two.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
You got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you need one more. About
Dang.
right here.
Quit coming apart.
Okay, how you coming, Donna?
Okay, are they too spaced?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
You got your 5. Okay.
I was actually going to put another one, but it would have not been quite that close together, I don't think.
So it's 5 on the bottom, and then you weave 5 more onto the top.
I had
Okay.
more to do, that's right. But see, I have closer to the edge there than I do here. Does that matter? Moving over a little bit.
Just move it a little bit. You'll get it the more you press. Yeah, because you kind of got this one.
Yeah. I can put 6.
Hey, if somebody says anything, so you do it the next time.
Yeah. 'Cause
Okay.
that's what
Now what I do now is I kind of go back and I pinch off the top, the basket weave, so it's kind of even with the underneath. Can you find the edge? Okay.
Is it even with the lip? Or
Yeah,
just
with the-
underneath crust?
Yeah, with the underneath crust or the lip, that might be a good idea too, as long as you've got dough underneath there. Because this is where your thickness can really come. So if your underneath dough is kind of thick,
your guys is a lot puffier than mine. Did you? Is it because my berries are
it's
wetter?
probably because you only had 4 cups of berries. If you wanted a puffier pie, we maybe should have put 5 or 6 cups.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah, but it's Jim's blackberry pie.
Yeah, we
Black
got
raspberry, and
yeah.
you're not going to bake yours.
Right. Just
Okay.
And
curious
he
why.
doesn't have to hide any of these pieces. You know what we do when we come now. And sometimes-
Nobody's going to want to come to my house anymore because they don't want
Oh
pie.
yeah, because I'm
Well,
sure it's still good.
But when we come to the reunion, my brother taught me, we go to the blackberry pie, we get a piece, and we go hide by the swing, and then we go get our food.
Yeah.
He taught me that, and I did it this year. And it's
I
a
saw
good
that.
idea. Did you
Okay.
see it?
Yeah, I saw that. Well, your mom, I think it was your mom went and
Your
got.
mom did it, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, she did it this
yeah,
time
she
too.
did. Okay, now what you're going to do, after you have all the top edges kind of even, and again, you know, I hadn't thought about what Donna said, but that might have worked out. Maybe even the what I'm going to do is take those 2 edges and I'm going to roll them to the inside. I'm going to take them and kind of pinch them together. Okay, so I'm going to take those 2 edges and I'm going to kind of pinch them together. And I can actually pinch that dough and move it around if I find it thicker in one area. So I'm going to take
That
that.
looks rustic. I like that look. I like it looks like homemade then.
Well, sometimes it can get too thick. So I try to work it so the dough is all the same thickness around.
Okay.
And I try to pinch it so it has a nice ridge. So if your pie does boil over,
Yeah.
it doesn't. And sometimes you can get that. So you just kind of keep.
So if you can put 5 cups of fresh berries in this size of
Yeah, in that size.
Okay.
You could probably even go 6. It depends on your berries, but yeah. Actually, I think on this pie, it called for, if you added a cup of pineapple, you only needed 3 cups of rhubarb. I actually have 4 cups of rhubarb in here. Okay. I started adding more fruit to my pies.
I think that makes the whole difference.
Okay. So, you know, now I just kind of go around once I've brought the 2 together and just kind of pinch and move the dough so it's kind of the same thickness. Okay. Depends on how much time I want to take. Okay.
If you're making 10 pies or 1, right?
Yeah. I'm like the gal that runs this up there. Now she doesn't do a pretty edge on hers. I like a pretty edge. Okay. Now,
What do you think?
you want to roll that together so I can't see any difference. So I don't want to see those. So they got to be rolled together.
Okay.
Okay.
I was kind of just smushing them together.
No,
Because I didn't have a whole lot to bring forward, but now I know what you're doing.
But yeah, but you can feel it when you roll them together. And if you don't, add a little piece.
Yeah. I was trying to keep it on the outside of the pan, but that wasn't what I was needing to do.
No. And actually this is a little thicker, so I can move it. So now it's all about the same.
Yeah.
Actually, you want to kind of get a stand-up edge here. Here's your
Okay,
flute
right.
it.
See, I was trying to keep it still over the edge.
No, you don't want to keep it over the edge. I'm sorry, I should have.
No, I should have looked over yours and I would have known.
Actually, you need to get this so almost you can
clean.
see. Yeah, clean. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Got it? Got the idea?
Yep.
Okay.
I was not bringing it over the top like I should have.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Looks perfect too. I can see what you're
We got
saying.
one more step, or maybe 2 more steps. Okay. This is called the pushing. I don't know what they call it. I take my thumb and my index finger on the inside of the pie, and I take my index finger on the other side, and I push it in, and I just flute the edges. like this. And I kind of push it to the outer bump is on the edge of the pan. And sometimes it never works out the right width, but that's all I do. That's your flute. And sometimes you kind of maybe have to pinch that little hump. Well, actually, I'd go back and I do that anyway.
Pinch your hump.
Yeah.
That sounds like
Sounds like
painful.
something we shouldn't be doing in front of Travis.
That's a little thin piece.
You're not allowed to pinch our hump.
Now see, she got a pretty one standing up higher than I did. But what I do,
I had some help though.
but see, what I do is when I go back, I see we're here, Barbara. See how that came apart? I'll just kind of go back there and kind of push it,
Okay.
and actually kind of make that so it does touch that outer ridge, because that might help keep it from shrinking.
See, I have one piece that's really thin. It didn't even.
Well, then you could just pinch, add a little dough off the floor table.
Off the floor.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Smart kind of girl. Yeah, I can tell where parts of it are
Yeah.
thicker and parts of it are thinner.
Mm-hmm.
Cha-ching! So you're making it pretty by pinching the tip?
Mm-hmm. Makes it more pointy.
Mm-hmm. That's a thin piece.
Okay. Now. Enough for now. And you know, I don't know why I've made lots of pies and they never come out the same. Is that okay? It's good. But you know what? Sometimes as fast as eating, nobody knows the difference.
We just look to see what you have, not necessarily
Yeah.
what it looks like.
Now, one time I entered a pie contest uptown. I don't know what, I made an apple pie. I don't know whether we had to make apple. I don't like making apple pies. But,
Right there.
yeah, it's a little,
You kind of push it
yeah,
down.
you got your crust a little, you got your edges a little higher than mine.
I know.
That's okay.
Because that side was,
That's okay.
just take a little bit of off.
Yeah, see, I do mine.
See how mine, it raised, like,
She
this
has
whole-
like an edge. That's fine. That's fine.
gives it character.
Gives it character.
Yeah, I was afraid I wasn't going to have enough. 'Cause
When
it
I
wouldn't
make an
just
apple
stick
pie, I add a fourth of a cup of red hots to it.
together. Ooh, that's a
And I
different
call it
flavor.
blushing apple pie.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's something you can do. You don't have to do it, but you can take a little milk and put on your top of your pie crust. And you can either use a little regular sugar and you have kind of it kind of makes it a sugary top. Now, something I found that I had never used before is something they call sparkling white sugar. And you can use it too. And you can see it's a little bit bigger crystals.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
what do you've never used that before?
I'd never seen it before, huh? I found this, actually, that's at King Arthur's Flour. I found it over at the KitchenAid place in Ohio.
So should I put the milk on mine since I'm not baking it?
No, I wouldn't. Mm-mm.
So just milk on top of it and then some
Yeah, kind of, the
sugar.
milk kind of helps to brown it a little bit.
Yeah.
Just make it sparkly. Just, just a pinch of sugar.
Those
And you're ready?
bad looking pie, girls.
Okay.
Wonder who made what?
Okay, we're ready to put in the oven. And now we're going to make a single pie crust. Okay, so we're going to do this all over again. Okay.